Hi guys, welcome to my Serie A Squad Builder with a 30k budget in mind from FIFA Extra. I'm just going to go through each player one by one who I'd recommend, give you a quick look at their stats and give you a guidance on what kind of price you can expect to pay in the FUT market today. All prices are based on PS3, although they'll be fairly similar to Xbox anyway. And as the season goes on, as the year goes on, I expect them prices to also drop a little bit, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So we'll start off in goal. Straight away, Machete, really good keeper overall, one of the best keepers in Serie A, really. Buffon's obviously going to be the most expensive keeper in Serie A and a little bit out of this budget, but Machete is a really good other option there. Really good diving stats, great reflexes as well. And the good thing about him is that his weakest is kicking, which I consider to be like the least important for a goalkeeper. So he goes straight in there really as number one, and he only costs about 2,500 coins. Next up at right back, Abate. What can you say about him? Really good pace, and that's really why he's in there. Not the best defensively, or not the greatest heading wise either, but decent technically, decent passing, decent dribbling. But really, he's just rapid, so that's why I've got him in there. He's quite popular with other squads as well, and he'll only cost you 3,000 coins. Next up is Ogbonna. Was really popular last year actually. When he was at Torino, I believe. Now has been transferred to Juve, and has sort of decent stats in this kind of price range. So really good pace again at 77. Decent defensive stats as well, and decent heading stats. Just what you'd really expect for this kind of player, and he's really cheap as well. Easily fits in this kind of budget. 2,200 coins. Next up is Cesars. Used to be a fullback last year actually, but now made the move to centre back in FUT. But also goes to fullback sometimes at Juve. But again, one of the quickest players, quickest defenders in Serie A at 81. Again, sort of decent defensive stats and heading stats to back it up. Very similar to Ogbonna, and he'll only cost you 1,800 coins. Left back, he was also included in my 10k budget squad, but Constant's really the only option you have at left back. Decent pace at 83. Not awful defending for a fullback, but decent dribbling and passing stats as well. But to be honest, he's your only option you have. So he'll cost you about 1,700 coins. Next up, the Roma legend De Rossi. Had to fit him in my team somehow, and I think he should be in every sort of Serie A team with this kind of budget. Obviously he's not the quickest guy, but his other stats really bad up. Decent shooting for a CDM, but all passing and just great defensively, great heading. Then defensive stats are better than all these budget central defenders or fullbacks. So he's one of the best defenders, even still for Serie A. So he goes straight in there. It costs you a bit more than everyone else. Still fits well in this budget though at 5,200 coins. Next up, Juventus central midfielder Marchisio. Just a good all-around box-to-box midfielder, really. Really good pace, so he can get around the pitch well, and decent passing and decent dribbling to back him up. Really, I think he's such a good player. Actually, it surprises me that he's this cheap. Decent defending stats as well. So he's just an easy choice. He's an obvious choice, really. He'll cost 100 more than De Rossi at 5,300 coins. Next up for that central attacking midfielder position, Hamsik. Again, really an easy choice. there are sort of not really that many other players in the cam position to select from in Serie A. Actually, there's loads of central midfielders to select from, but Hamsik is definitely the best sort of budget cam to go for. Decent pace again to get forward, good shooting, good passing, good dribbling. That's all you want really, and he even has sort of decent heading as well, and not too bad defensive stats. So it's just a great option at 2,500 coins. For the right wing or right mid position, Candrava at Lazio. He's a really good right winger actually, 84 pace, really good technical stats in passing, good dribbling as well, and really good shooting for a winger at least as well. He's just an all-around good winger. Not the quickest, but 84 pace is still good, so here's your best option there at 1,700 coins. Striker wise, this really had to be my choice. So I do like playing with a fast guy up front, but Gomez is just an absolute beast. He's sort of Drogba-like in the game. He's even not that slow either for a target man. Not the greatest shooting. I'd actually rate him higher than that. But the main stat here is the 84 heading, and this game is very good for crosses and headers. Gomez is good for the game, and he'll only cost you 4,000 coins. Next up, Asamoah. He was also in my budget squad, but I like the guy so much, just as a all-around left winger. Good going forward, and good going back really. So he's just a solid option here for either left wing or left midfield. And like I say, he was in my budget squad, so he'll only cost you 1,200 coins. Now moving on to the reserve players, Handanovic at Inter is also a sort of valid option. I just think Marchetti is a little bit better than him, but Handanovic is a decent option if you don't like Marchetti. There's nothing more I could say there. They're fairly similar, but I just prefer Marchetti. And Handanovic will cost you the same price actually at 2,500 coins. Conco was in my budget squad, another option at right back. If you don't like Abate, but really they're both speedsters, they're both not great defensively, although Conco is a little bit better than him, and sort of he is 79 overall as well, so I just prefer Abate's sort of rapid pace. But if you're not a fan of him, then Conco's a decent option, and he's cheap as well at 900 coins. Barzagli, again, a Juventus centre-back. They have millions of them, and he's again a valid option. I'd put him in my squad if he had just better pace really. He's got really good defensive stats, 86, great heading stats as well, but he's a little bit slow, so maybe if you play 5 at the back, he would be a great player to put in the centre, supporting Obona and Cesirs, but only if you're playing 5 at the back really. I'm not a big fan on slow defenders, but if you can afford to put him in and you play really deep, then he's a good option at 2,000 coins. Pogba really should be in the team, to be honest, if it was based on real life. This guy's going to be rated in the 80s next year easily. Just a really good all-around box-to-box midfielder, really great at, what isn't he good at? Nothing there is lower than 75. Just a great box-to-box midfielder, good, he is everywhere on the pitch, great stamina. So here's a good option if maybe you want to play 4-2-3-1, moving into CDM, or just play with a lot of a 4-5-1 with a lot of central midfielders. He could easily fit in there instead of Marchisio, but Pogba's a good option at 5,600 coins. And again, another good option CM. Serie A is loaded with good sort of budget centre midfielders. Hernandez is got decent pace, but he's just better going forward than Pogba. Pogba's more defensive than him, but if you want someone to burst forward a bit more, you could even switch him to a cam, to be honest. Really good shooting, good passing, and great dribbling stats. If you can afford to do the price card, or maybe you don't need to, here's a good option at 4,400 coins. Next up, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name properly. Quadrado, I think it is. But like good wingers, magnificent pace there. Great dribbling as well. He's not the best shooting, but if you're looking for a winger who's not going to break into the box, then he's a really good option. Decent technical stats as well, passing, crossing. So he's just another option at 3,800 coins. Giovinco, I had him in my budget squad as well. Just sort of centre forward really. If you need a centre forward in the team, then he's a decent shout. Although I actually prefer him on the wing. So if you can afford the chemistry hit, then he can be an option on the wing for you. Good pace again, good dribbling. But there's loads of options here, so it depends on your preference. But Giovinco will cost about 1,400 coins. Last but not least, if you need a different striker option, or if you play two up front, Muriel will be a really good shout to go alongside Gomez to play a sort of little man, big man combination. Muriel was really popular last year, and he is again this year in budget Serie A teams, mainly because of the pace. Good dribbling as well, so he keeps the ball sort of really well. But at the same time, he's quite small as well, so you can get knocked off the ball. But decent shooting stats, nothing to write home about, but they're still fine for a striker. So Muriel is a good option if you plan them chip through balls over the top, and he'll only cost you 1,400 coins. And that concludes the squad, the Serie A squad, with a budget of 30k in mind. Hope that's been helpful for anyone to looking to progress their Serie A team. Make sure to check out other videos, maybe if you're dipping into other leagues, for other sort of with similar budgets to this. And sort of good luck building the squad, and hope it's been helpful, and thanks for watching.